So, if you're in Canada, if you're in Alberta, and specifically in Calgary, don't read this municipal magazine. I think it's called Municipal World, and it's published out of like Ontario every month. Apparently, for the first time ever, the mayor of Calgary, the current mayor of Calgary, is being voted the number one mayor in all of Canada. Now, if you're from Calgary, you'll be like, what? It sounds crazy because honestly, I feel like maybe somebody's her friend at this magazine or one of her former colleagues, or she goes and networks a lot because this is outrageous that anybody from Alberta would call her the number one mayor in the country, because literally her approval rate in this city is 18%. You can look it up. Before this summer, her approval rate was 26%. That means that 74% of the population does not approve of her. Remember, this is the same mayor that thousands of people got together and had a petition to recall her from office because they thought that she did such a poor job. Now, I'm not personally saying that she did a poor job. I thought it was really refreshing when she was elected that it could be a woman that could be the mayor of Calgary. But by some just unlucky circumstances, she has run into problem after problem after problem, especially in the last 2 years with taxes going up. Everybody in Calgary knows that their taxes are going up in the next couple of years as well, because we also have to pay for an arena which hasn't been built yet. They promised arena over and over again, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can't negotiate with the sports management group and everything like that." So that's the arena. Then she and the council brought in a plastic bag kind of ban, and they had to rescind it as well. That meant that you couldn't go to a fast food restaurant and get a plastic bag. You couldn't get your food with plastic utensils and all that stuff. It was a ban instituted by the city, and so they had to rescind that. So don't forget that. Don't forget, under her watch, those were the people that got rid of regular salting of the roads and started using beet juice on the roads. Or don't forget the water feeder main thing that broke over the summer during Stampede, which limited people from moving in the city, like driving around in the city and having no access to clean water for months. And then it happened again in the fall. All this stuff happened under her. So I'm sure there's a lot more that also happened under her as the mayor, but the biggest was all of that stuff, and then the people that actually brought a petition to the government because they were fed up with having her as the mayor of Calgary. Like I said, I don't hate Jody Gondek. I think a lot of things that happen that are bad at the city get piled onto the mayor because the mayor is the figurehead for the city. But, City of Calgary meetings are public. People can watch them, You can go to them. You can sit in the gallery and see what's happening. And there was scandal after scandal at the City of Calgary this year. Kicking out that, what was his name? Sean Chu, I can't remember, the counselor who used to be a police officer. You remember that whole debacle as well? And then Jody Gondak going to the Calgary Flames hockey game. Do you remember that? That was publicized everywhere, that she had such a bad approval rate in the city that she went to, I think it was like Indigenous Peoples Evening or something like that, where they were celebrating Indigenous people, and she got called out onto the ice, and she's walking out there, and the whole arena booed her. Okay? So this, coming from somebody who is from Calgary, this was ridiculous to see and kind of laughable, and it just shows the disconnect between people in the east of Canada and people in the west of Canada, because they have no clue what is happening here. And if they did, if they sat down and actually spoke to somebody from the city, then they would be like, why are we nominating this person to be the number one mayor in all of Canada? It's just kind of crazy to me. On the other side, maybe they felt sorry for her because of what happened in the summer with the water feeder main. But like I said, all those other things, no arena, the plastic bags, extra taxes, the water main break, the booing of her at the event, and then her approval rate being 18%, just all this stuff. I was like, can you still think that this is the best mayor in the whole country? I feel like I've ranted a lot about this, but it just seems to me like it's something that is just sharp. You know what I mean? Like, when you can clearly see that this is a load of crap. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, the whole water thing, remember, it wasn't just like the city of Calgary. It was everybody that lived in the surrounding areas of Calgary that was deprived of clean water because of the actions of people at the city. So that was, and I don't mean the workers, I mean like the bureaucracy. So that was like people in Calgary, Airdrie, Chestermere, Strathmore, like all those places were all affected by the whole water main break thing. So it affected a lot of people's lives and a lot of people's livelihoods. Remember, businesses had to close down. You know, I remember having to go to the hospital and not being able to access the road near Montgomery, like near Bowness Road, that area, not to get to the hospital. Like, that's the kind of like thing that it was. I think it's called like Barkdale Boulevard or something like that, Parkdale Boulevard, near the university and everything like that. You couldn't even access certain roads because of all that stuff that happened. So, yeah. Municipal World is ridiculous, and I don't think you should be reading that magazine because of this. I don't know. Like, this was just announced like 5 minutes ago on the news, in the evening news in Calgary. So we'll see what the reaction is in the morning.